What is going on YouTube? Hitamac making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we are going to be looking at XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, as well as the S&P 500. We're also going to be going over what exactly happened over the weekend, which was SVB, the largest bank failure since 2008 financial crisis, just had its closure over the weekend here, which is huge and is having a major impact on pretty much all the major cryptocurrencies, including the stock market here. It's really sending a signal and causing the markets to dump as we enter our what could be continuing into this recession. Some very interesting movements are taking place. We have to go over how this is affecting and correlating with cryptocurrency as well as the stock market here. As you guys know, looking at XRP though, we have been in a bull flag, and as you know, we had a beautiful bull trap right here, which I did fall for here. You can see we've been tracking this since January 23rd. There's been a major downtrend across XRP here, and we've been waiting patiently for us to break through it here. You can see the beautiful pole, the flagpole here within the bull flag right here, the constant consolidation that has taken place here, and we were just waiting for a break above this resistance here for us to buy in and long and leverage to the upside, and unfortunately that is not what happened. We had a beautiful setup here where we then said, okay, well, let's watch this here. We have a beautiful price floor and a downtrend filling in some sort of gap here, pretty much understanding that there is some sort of descending triangle, and we discussed that if at any point we broke above yet again the major price ceiling, we'd buy in long, but if we broke through the major price floor, we'd buy in for a short. And unfortunately, that is exactly what happened last night. We closed below this price floor here. That's been holding us up for a very long time at 36 cents, immediately corrected through it. And now we have entered a short position, keeping a tight stop loss in case we see another, beautiful bull trap here and get wrecked again. So we do have this set up on XRP. These other cryptocurrencies are looking quite interesting. We've pretty much bounced off Ethereum here right on its support and are reversing upwards. And we're starting to see the same thing take place with Bitcoin. The problem is the S&P 500, which does not look good at all right now, as we are starting to head lower, which could enter the fact that we are no longer going to be seeing these higher low patterns as we have bad news across the board here. There is still a chance we could reverse up. There is still a chance for that, and this would still be considered a higher low pattern if you ask me. The bottom here was 37.89. We're currently at 38.63, so we are still creating higher low patterns here. It's just a little worrisome when we start to veer back inside our major descending fractal here. This could easily send us lower and lower and lower, and that is not a good sign if you ask me. So more information about this will be spoken about in a minute with you, but with that being said, make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and let's dive into today's video. So the first thing I want to talk about here is on Reuters, and it's about the SVB, which is the largest bank failure since 2008 financial crisis. Just happened over the weekend here, and that's pretty much what's stirring the pot at a very coincidental time. I know correlation isn't always causation here, but the fact is we were retesting some pretty interesting areas here, very much so near the top right here, and we're pretty much deciding, are we going to be reversing up or falling down on its major price floor? And as you guys can see, this news comes out, and then we start to see the major dump. But basically, in hindsight here, a startup-focused lender, SVB Financial Group, became one of the largest banks to fail since 2008 financial crisis on Friday, in a sudden collapse that roiled, and I'm sure it wasn't so sudden, I'm sure it was very much so aware of and planned by people much higher up, that roiled global markets and left billions of dollars belonging to companies and investors stranded. A California banking regulator closed the bank, which did business as Silicon Valley Bank, on Friday, and appointed the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, to later disposition of its assets. So basically, if you had an account with them, you were FDIC insured for up to $250,000, and now the feds are going to be basically bailing them out and handing out money to people that had invested. If you invested more than that, well, good luck to you. But basically, based in Santa Clara, the lender was ranked the 16th biggest in the U.S. at the end of last year, with about $209 billion in assets. And it was basically a tech-focused banks, which abrupt collapse were a jumble, but the Fed's aggressive interest rate hikes in last year, which had crippled financial conditions in the startup space, in which was a notable player, seemed front and center. Yeah, anything tech got really hammered by the federal fund rate hikes. And obviously, if your bank is entirely focused on tech, then you are shooting yourself in the foot. But what's interesting is to talk about how it invested its money here. 89% of the bank's $175 billion in deposits were uninsured as the end of 2022, according to the FDIC, and their fate remains to be determined. So yeah, a lot of these big major corporations put money in bank accounts that they were not able to back. But it talked about how and what they had invested in. Separately, SVB Financial, parent company of Silicon Valley, is working with, I don't know. Regardless, I can't find the information right now, but it said they invested into certain investment strategies. The actual bank itself took the money and invested it into bank strategies, and then they were trying to raise capital. That's what it was. Here we go. So it says right here, specifics of the tech-focused bank's abrupt collapse were a jumble, but the Fed's aggressive interest rate hikes in the last year, which had crippled financial conditions in the startup space in which it was a notable player, seemed front and center. It says as it tried to raise capital to offset fleeing deposits, the bank lost $1.8 billion on treasury bonds, whose values were torpedoed by the Fed rate hikes. So basically, they had leveraged money into these accounts, which got smashed and hammered by the by the federal funds rate hikes, the increases, and they were trying to raise enough capital to make up for those losses. They couldn't, and now they got called on their loans pretty much, and now they are screwed, which happens a lot. And this is why you don't want to be in a leveraged position, or you don't want to, leverage in general. I know we talk about leveraging cryptocurrency, but it's with smaller amounts that we are comfortable with losing. But when you have banks leveraging $2 billion worth of assets, they get screwed time and time again. So it's best not to have debt. If you're not in debt, you don't have to worry about big financial movements like this, and you're okay. So it's interesting, and we've seen it all too often happen to Dave Ramsey. Did very similar things in the beginning to what what SVB is doing now, and it's all too common, honestly, in this market. You over leverage or you dip your hand a little too much into certain pots, and then when we get major financial crises like this, and you're still invested in that because it can happen to anyone at any time, you get screwed. So very interesting. But moving forward, looking at these cryptocurrencies, XRP is continuing to dip lower. This is something that we kind of figured out at this point here. We figured at the minimum we would, and I have a bullish bias now, but at a minimum we would fill in the gap right here, which clearly is not happening. We've clearly broken through our major price floor, and it is within a doubt setting us lower. So now we have targets much lower as to where we could be retesting, which would be down to its price floor right here. And there's a good chance it will head all the way to bottom support. Very good chance we're going to be retesting something like this, and then maybe we could be breaking through. So I am still bullish on these cryptocurrencies. I know that might seem crazy now or strange, but I do believe we are still looking for bullish reversals outside of these movements here. It just might be a little bit longer. Unfortunately, because we've closed below this major support right here, it is sending us lower here. And we did say very specific in my previous videos here that this price floor is something not to be messed with. If we close below this price floor, that's a buying opportunity to short to the downside here, which we took advantage of, obviously doing so on BidFi, the #1 cryptocurrency leveraging exchange that I like to use here on the channel. Buy long, sell short, leverage trades, stop losses, take profits. They even offer a demo account, which gives you $100 grand in free money, monopoly money, to test your skills on. Zero risk, completely free to sign up. You have nothing to miss out on, nothing to lose by using the demo account and getting familiar with the website. You can even just use that to test your skills. It's that great. The best part is they offer XRP, which not many exchanges offer, and that's really cool if you ask me. And also the best part, the best of the best, the best for the last, is if you do decide to sign up with a link down in the description below, click Welcome Rewards, and you can earn up to $2,888 completely free by signing up right there. And if you've already signed up a couple months ago, a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago, and you haven't actually clicked on Welcome Rewards, do so now because it's a new program BidFi is offering, and you can also earn up to or very close to that amount as well. So make sure to check that out. But moving forward here, yes, because we've confirmed closure below this major floor here last night, this was a buy-in opportunity to short this to the downside, and that can also be applied to a lot of these other cryptos. Things have been acting a little wonky here because XRP is acting indifferent. I do believe there is more room for XRP to head lower here, but with things like Ethereum and Bitcoin, we're already pinballing off of oversold, and we already fell below its moving average. So the likelihood that we continue to fall seems pretty slim if you ask me. So I have a gut feeling what's actually going to happen is we're going to bounce off this and kind of, intertwine and go stagnant here, but I would definitely start to maybe wait a little bit before we invest, so just so we can understand what exactly is going on here, because we have confirmed a breakdown below here. We have broken out of the ascending fractal here. Let's just let things play out. Typically with major dumps like this, they kind of pinball a little bit, and that's kind of what we're waiting for, and hopefully that'll reveal some sort of symmetrical, flag or some symmetrical triangle, and then we can confirm a buy-in opportunity. But until then, let's let this market play out a little bit longer as we are becoming oversold, and then we'll go through with our trades. As for the S&P 500, things are a little wonky. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, come tomorrow, we can bounce off this right here and head back up, because if we start to head lower inside of this, that is not a good sign at all, because this could easily send us much lower, and that is not something that we want to be messing around with or dealing with. So the goal is, and I'm hoping this is the last point here, because this is the last support that we have, the goal is we reverse off this and head up. But definitely let me know your opinions down in the comment section below. Smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.